Dave Palumbo with an RxMuscle news update. Big Ramy posted yesterday on his Instagram letting everyone know that he's used to training for the Mr. Olympia this time of year. He's been in 6 Mr. Olympias consecutively. He has not qualified this year. He has not even done a show this year to qualify. And he wanted to let his fans know that he will be in Las Vegas on the Olympia weekend and that he is dieting for something. I don't know. He says he's just dieting because he's so used to dieting for the Olympia. Obviously, he obviously wants to be in the Olympia, and he's putting it out there. And I'm sure he asked the powers that be at the IFBB for a special invite to the Olympia. The question is, will he get it? The question is, does it seem like a desperate move on his part at this point in time? And the real question in my mind is, why didn't he do the Tampa Pro? It was only a week ago, right? Or a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. He could, I mean, he looked pretty good in this picture he posted on his Instagram. I can't imagine that he wouldn't, place high enough or possibly win the show to qualify for the Olympia. Also, even if he came in second at the show behind Dexter, there would be a much better case for him asking for a special invite had he competed and at least come very close to qualifying, in which case he could have said, look, I had an injury, I competed, I didn't win, Dexter Jackson showed up, maybe one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. Hey, can I get an invite? Cedric had a much better case asking for a special invite because he was only 1 point out of the running to qualify on points for the Olympia, and he had a really good reason why he didn't do the Tampa Pro. He was on field maneuvers for the U.S. military, which he's been in for the last whatever, how many years. So, to compare Cedric with Ramy's plight is not really a good comparison because Ramy just hasn't competed this year. Cedric competed a couple times already and accumulated points, thought he had enough to go, couldn't make any shows this summer, although he wanted to do Chicago and he wanted to do Tampa, but he just couldn't. And, his job came first. I don't blame him. That's his pension, his benefits, his everything. This is his career. So the IFBB was nice enough to obviously extend that special invite. Now, Ramy asking for a special invite on is another story. Yes, he's a gifted bodybuilder. Yes, he's a super freak. Yes, we will want to see him on the Olympia stage. But should that automatically give him the ability to skip the shows and just jump into the Olympia? It's almost not fair to the other guys. Even though he might be better than a lot of these other guys, it doesn't matter. You got to at least compete. So, I don't think we're going to see a special invite extended to Big Ramy. Maybe it'll be better that he's at the Olympia without competing, because then the fans will have more access to him. At least I hope they do. And, the question that, is on everyone's mind is, why didn't Ramy get on that stage? Was he afraid to compete against Dexter Jackson and lose? I don't know. It seems to be that way. Luke Sandow stood up next to Dexter and gave him a pretty damn good run for his money. Why couldn't Big Ramy? Ramy's beaten Dexter before, many times, in the last couple of years. So why not do it again this year? It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense, and that's why I think that he's not going to get a special invite. And to be quite frank, I love Big Ramy. I think he's a great character. I love interviewing him. I love seeing him in person. He's a super nice guy. I don't think he deserves a special invite. I think he's still early enough in his career. He's not a legend yet. He's a guy who we know has potential to possibly be Mr. Olympia that's never realized that potential yet. Had he been battling it out with Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath, for the last 3 years in a row and been second place, and maybe he had an injury, all right, now you can justify it. But the guy didn't even place top 5 at the Olympia last year. So you got to earn it. And you know what? If keeping him out of this year's show will help him, or maybe push him to be a little more, I guess you could say, forthright next year and aggressive in terms of his contest competing schedule, then that's great for the sport. I don't think we're seeing Ramy compete enough. I think he's still young enough that he should be on that stage more. I think he should be competing more. I think he should have done the Arnold last year. I think he's been mentally and emotionally not in the right place, leaving Oxygen Gym. He moved to Dubai. Now he's back in Kuwait again, but he's training at a different gym. I believe he's at Platinum Gym. So there's way too much, political maneuvering, too many coach changes. Now I hear George Farrer's working. It's like every single, couple of months there's another guy working with him. So I think he should spend this next year focused. I think Neil Hill said it right. Neil Hill said don't compete this year. He said take off the year, focus on 2020, because there was too many distractions for Big Ramy this year. Does he look great in the picture? Yeah, but Big Ramy always looks great. What does he look like from behind? I don't know. I only see one great picture, you know, and once again, he's an impressive bodybuilder, you know, and an in-gym picture doesn't count for what you're going to look like on stage. If he would have been confident about how he's going to look on stage, he would have stood on that Tampa Pro stage against Dexter Jackson, and he would have won the show if he was at his best. So I'm not buying it. Once again, I can't wait. I wish I was going to the Olympia just to see Ramy. I'm not going to be there, obviously, this year. RxMuscle will be there covering the event. My wife is due to give birth around that time, so we're kind of taking off this year for Dave Palumbo, but everyone else in the RxMuscle staff will be there. Hopefully we'll get a good interview with Big Ramy. But, you know, once again, I think he should really focus on next year. And maybe, you know what, maybe hit some of these Grand Prix after the Olympia. Win those. Really make a name for yourself. Qualify early for the Olympia. And then if you want to take off the rest of the year, fine. I still think he should do the Arnold Classic. He's got to win that Arnold USA. That's one of the must-do things if you want to really be a bodybuilder that's solidified as one of the best of all time. You got to win the Arnold USA. I know Ramy's won Brazil and he's won, you know, I think Europe in Spain. But you got to win USA, and then you got to win the Olympia. That cements you as a legitimate winner. That's why Dexter's won more Arnolds than anyone, and he's got an Olympia in his bookcase there. So he's squared away in the Hall of Fame. You know, Jay Cutler, same thing. Ronnie Coleman, same thing. Now, initially, before Ronnie, there were most of the Mr. Olympias never did the Arnold because the Arnold, there really was, you know, the Arnold had started after Haney was already winning Olympias. So why I don't know why Dorian never did an Arnold Classic. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that one. Yeah, once Dorian won the Olympia, though, that's all his only focus. He was so single-mindedly focused on things that he didn't even consider doing the Arnold Classic. It wasn't even in his wheelhouse. He would do the Olympia, and then he would do the British Grand Prix the week after the Olympia, cement that win because he knew no way he was losing that. And that was it for the year for him, and he was good. And you know what? It worked for him. Nowadays, I think you got to earn your stripes at that Arnold Classic and then go to that Olympia and win the Olympia. Although Phil Heath never won the Arnold Classic. At least he never won the one in the USA. He won one in Spain that year. After the Olympia, he went over there and did that. So anyway, Big Ramy, will we see him on an Olympia stage? I don't think so. If we do, hey, you know what? I'd be happy to see him on the stage, but I don't think he earned it this year. I think that the IFBB should make him wait till next year. Let him earn it. Once again, he's still early in his career. I think that you don't want to coddle someone like him because then we're never going to see the best of him. Make him a little angry. Piss him off a little bit. Let him get hungry. We want to see the best Ramy on stage so that he can win the Mr. Olympia like we've been predicting for the last 6 years. We haven't seen it yet. He came close one year, second place. That's not going to be good enough. We want to see an Olympia Sandow in Ramy's mantle case. It's not going to happen this year, more than likely. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RxMuscle news update.